So I just stopped filming another video and the thought just come to me. No one actually shows the case studies of automations that they've created for their clients. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen anything like that on YouTube. So I thought, let me show you a real automation that I built for a real client that has completely changed their business. I'll go from the initial email I sent to them, the questions I asked on the call, how the conversation went on that call, my next steps after that, how I built it, all the way through to actually delivering this to the client. Before I stepped in, they were spending hours every day on manual work. So much so that when it came to acquiring new clients, they simply just couldn't take any more on, affecting their ability to scale. So this system has pretty much put their process on autopilot, saving time, actually saving money, whilst also making a hell of a lot more money. And this isn't just theory, this is a real case study. So let's break it down step by step. So the problem, a lot of manual work, very repetitive and time consuming. They're a lead generation agency. They had multiple clients under them, reaching out on their behalf, trying to get their clients, more leads, more meetings. He was spending hours a day scraping leads for his clients. He'd then go on GPT for Sheets through Google Sheets, using his own formula to personalize each lead. And I say personalization, he'd just sort of, from their SEO description, understand what it is they were selling. And he'd say, I was looking for lipsticks and found you. Say this person sells lipsticks. He'd also pay an outsource of £500 a month to scrape his Apollo leads for them. As I mentioned before, they weren't able to scale because of the amount of time that each client would take. They physically couldn't take any more clients without actually hiring people. And the problem with actually hiring people, other than obviously national insurance and tax, wages, paying their holiday. Problem is that people are lazy. People get sick. They just cause business owners multiple issues. They were also finding it hard to keep their data clean and separate for each client. And through all this manual process and the lack of time that they actually had to work on acquiring new clients, they kept missing out on revenue and opportunities and money. So they just needed a way to automate everything whilst also improving results. The process they had was just slow, became expensive, extremely inconsistent, and quite frankly, quite messy. So I came to the rescue. So here's the solution. And here's how I actually came up with it. Again, it's not something I see a lot of on YouTube, so I thought I'd explain how the conversation went. I originally outreached via my ultra personalized system. We got on a call and it took about 3 questions. We broke the ice as you normally would on a sales call. I explained what this call was going to be about. I need to understand what it is you guys are doing compared to maybe where they were wanting to be, just to see what that gap looks like and to see if I could fill that gap with automation and to see if my skills were viable here, because we can't help everyone. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that. So I asked, what are they doing now? Which is what he explained to me before. He was scraping leads manually, personalizing through GPT sheets, etc., etc. I asked him how long he's been doing that. And it's been the same process since he started. And then I just said, does it make sense for you to keep doing all this manual work and potentially not being able to scale any further if you actually didn't really have to? There's only one answer to that. No. Great. I went in with a little pitch about what I thought I could do. And I'd say it's a pitch. It was like a doctor, right? You walk into a doctor's room, you tell them the problems, they come back with a fix. I was the doctor. He was in need of the fix. I then came off the call, knew I could build this within less than an hour, built it, told him that I'd finished it. He actually emailed me back at 9 p.m. saying, can we get a call now? I don't know if you're a late night worker. I want to see what it is you've built. By then, I was already deep into a book, about to fall asleep. But I showed him the next day, he was buzzing, and we actually had it wrapped up that week. So I know you've all been dying to actually see the system. So let's crack on. So actually the reason I'm able to show you the automation is because it was only wrapped up last month and I'm still sort of helping out for any bugs, improvements, fixes, and any maintenance, which thankfully I haven't had to do yet. But obviously I've changed the name so you don't see the client's name. Now, if you've actually seen my other video where I explained how I've made 6 figures within 6 months, you'll know that I create an app for the client through something called bolt.new, which is a platform which allows you to create websites and apps simply from prompts. It does the coding for you. So within a couple minutes, I created this app here. I've changed obviously the logo and taken the name out, but this would normally have their logo and their name. These are their colors, which is white and blue. He does a search on Apollo. of his client's ideal customer. He'll then take that search, put it into here. I'm not going to run the scenario. I'm just going to walk you through it. So they'll put the Apollo search into there. They'll then enter their client's name because obviously we didn't want any duplications of data. He'll obviously have the spreadsheet of all his clients and their prospects in their own separate spreadsheet. So we didn't want just one spreadsheet of every of his clients' leads. He has to put the client name in. The system will figure out if it's a new client or if it's an existing one. If it's an existing one, any leads that get scraped will get added into their spreadsheet. If it's a new one, a new spreadsheet will get created for that client. They'll then put the Instantly campaign ID because obviously they are running multiple campaigns for all their multiple clients. So we had to put the campaign ID in there as well, just so when it got to the end of the automation, the leads were getting added into the right campaign. And then it was optional whether we wanted to put the spreadsheet ID in there. It's just an extra layer of protection so that the leads are getting added into the right spreadsheet. So once he's pressed start automation, a nice little green confirmation will come up at the bottom saying, thanks for this, check back into your Instantly in 10 minutes time or something like that and watch the leads get added in. So once he presses start automation, this is the webhook. This collects the data. So it collects all this, the search URL, the name, the campaign ID, and if they put it in, the spreadsheet ID. Then it will search the tracking sheet. This is an example tracking sheet I made. I've also made all the there you go. You can see the spreadsheet ID for that one, but I think it's been deleted, so it doesn't matter. Got all the spreadsheet IDs in there. If it's a new client, and it will get added in. So we'll have his tracking sheet of all his clients and all their spreadsheet ID of their clients. So it will search it. Again, this is connected to mine. If the client name in here is equal to the client name that comes through, if it's a new client, it will go up this router and create a new spreadsheet for that client and add that client into the tracking sheet with the spreadsheet ID of the new spreadsheet that got created. Then we'll send the data to the webhook, which I'll show you next. Also, if it's an existing client, so if the client name is equal to the client name that comes through, we'll go down here and we'll send all the data to the webhook. Anyway, we're going to store the spreadsheet ID because we need that for actually adding all the leads that get scraped into the spreadsheet. So it then gets sent to here, gets sent into this webhook, which then runs the Apollo scraper. We use Appify for this. If you guys aren't familiar with Appify, as a really high level overview, it's a data scraping tool that you can scrape through an API. Really, really handy. I'm actually going to do a walkthrough for you guys because it is really, really handy. And obviously a lot of your clients might want a cheaper alternative to LinkedIn Sales Navigator and Phantom Buster for scraping their leads. So you might want to get them from Apollo, and it is dirt cheap. You can get, I think it's $1.20, so about 96p for 1,000 leads. So it's about $12, $11, $12 for 10,000 leads. Anyway, so then this will take all the data and run the Apollo scraper. So basically all we're going to be passing into here is the Apollo search ID. Then that starts scraping on Appify, and this is set up to watch for when the latest actor. If you don't know what an actor is, guys, I'm sorry I haven't explained it. An actor is basically what the scrape is called on Appify. If you are running an actor, you're running the scrape. So this watches for it to finish. So if he said, I need 10,000 leads, and he's done his search on Apollo, he needs 10,000 leads from whatever industry, whatever decision maker, that's the 10,000 leads being scraped. This will watch for the ending and take the data. This then gets the record, i.e. this gets the spreadsheet ID and the client name and the campaign ID. The reason I put it before the get data set items is that it only uses one operation. You'll notice this uses very, very little operations. For me personally, when I'm building my own automations, I like to make sure on Make.com especially that I'm not using many operations because operations cost money. So for the client as well, I'm wanting to save him as much money as I can. So this gets the record. Then we get the data set items from the scrape. So this will be 10,000 bundles of leads. Now, if the email exists from the lead, we will then use Instantly to verify it. This is a step they wanted added in because he uses Instantly to verify the leads, which is fair enough. I use Never Bounce. He uses Instantly. He says it's very expensive, but that's just what he uses. Now, if the email status comes back as pending, if it takes longer than 10 seconds, it will come back as pending. and we'd send it to the webhook where it sleeps for, I think, 10 seconds, see if it's verified. If it still isn't, it'll sleep for another 30 seconds or so. If it's verified, we'll go through and create the icebreaker. Same with here. If it's verified at that stage, it will go and create the icebreaker. If it just gets verified anyway from the first search, it'll research the prospect using Perplexity, create the icebreaker, add into his Instantly campaign. This will obviously also add into his Instantly campaign. When this is all finished, when every lead has got added in, this will then choose this path, aggregate over the text. I'll show you what it looks like. Then iterate over it, get the spreadsheet ID and dynamically put the spreadsheet ID and bulk update the Google Sheets in one operation. I'm also going to do that video straight after this as well. So if you're wondering why I've got the same hair, the same jumper on, it's because it's Saturday night and I just thought I'll just crack out some videos before I go to New York, actually, funnily enough. So yeah, we'll bulk update. Once all the leads have been added to Instantly, it will choose this path and update into Google Sheets. So for example, free account was the name of a client. And here it just, boom, got all added in. And then we're actually going to add something where it puts it into its own folder as well. But essentially, guys, that's the automation. I'm going to say it's simple. I don't know if you guys think it's simple. When you get the idea in your head, it's actually so easy to build and make. I start off with understanding the end goal and then sort of strip it back from there. So, right, okay, we need to add it to Instantly. You're going to need all the icebreakers and variables to get added into Instantly. We're also going to need to make sure there are only verified emails that go in there. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's it for that branch. Going to have to make sure the actors scrape the data. So is that the start? Okay, but where's that data going? And then suddenly, at the start of the automation, you realize, okay, now I need to create the spreadsheets to start with because that's where the data is going to go. And that's going to have to be the start of the automation. We're not going to be able to do that further down the line because that's going to be increasingly operational heavy. Like I said before, it all just takes one operation until it gets to creating the icebreakers. Then it's 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. It's 30,000 operations if you obviously have 10,000 leads. The only operational heavy bit is researching the prospect using Perplexity, creating the icebreaker and adding to Instantly. And verifying the emails as well. So how have the results looked so far? At a minimum, we've worked out they've been able to save 15 hours per week. That just speaks for itself. The clients that they had to say no to before are currently now getting onboarded. And they're now getting onboarded with an extra pitch that we can now personalize the emails and increase the response rates even better than we could before. So clients that wanted to work for them before or work with them got told no. They had a fear of missing out. Now they're getting told they can work for them and it's even better. And it's actually been able to increase my client's fee. So he's getting even more money. He hasn't had to hire anyone and go through the stress of that. We've managed to clean up their data and make sure he's got different spreadsheets for different clients in different folders with all the data in there. He doesn't have to outsource anymore to the Pakistani that he was before, which has been able to save him about 400 a month because this has only actually cost him 100 to 200 pounds per month to run the automation. All in all, it has been a total game changer for them. I've almost been able to automate his whole job. And they're so happy. We're now discussing what else we can actually do for them. And that's the key to this, guys. If you make the customer incredibly happy to start with and you give them so much value that all they want to do is just do it again with another automation, they'll be throwing things at you that you could just automate. It's been very rare, actually, that I've just had a client once and that's it. After a few weeks, if they haven't got in touch with me, I'd normally set up a call with them to do some kind of review of the system we've done before. Then I'll ask for referrals. How do you feel we've helped you the most? Do you think there's anyone else who could potentially be suffering with the same problems and issues that you were suffering with before you came to me? Then suddenly I'm getting referrals in. I'm getting a lot warmer leads. And I'm getting a lot more clients and a lot more money. And I think that's the aim of this game, is to move more away from that cold email. Once you get a few clients, they can start introducing you to other ones. You can get a lot of social proof. You can start getting inbound leads as well. And as you grow your business, you're only going to become better and your clients are only going to get happier. So yeah, that's one of the many systems that I build for clients every day. If you want to see more sort of case studies like this, let me know and I can stick these on my YouTube channel, because I think it's good for people that are learning or starting or even a few months in, can maybe get ideas about who and what industry they could be targeting next and what they could sell them. But also to the new people, you can know that this is actually real. There's not just a load of nerds on the internet who just love this stuff and talk about it. This is real. This can happen. You can do it too. And if you follow this channel, it's going to be impossible for you to lose. So yeah, let me know if you've even thought of other automations for businesses that you want to reach out to, and I can potentially help you with it. I can give you advice on how to reach out to them and what to say to them. Yeah, drop a comment. I'll get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next one.